Hi friends, it's Debra Morrison of Women Navigating Finances. And as a money coach, I've always said money is a tool. It buys options, buys choices, it buys time, as in my most recent post about life insurance. Yet I'm the first one to admit and proclaim, if money can solve it, it's not a problem. Illness, life-shortening diagnoses, disability, death, these are problems and no amount of money will solve them. As a certified grief coach, I've read tomes of controversy about the opening of schools in the fall, and I have yet to hear one person reflecting upon the risks to the mental health of the students or that of their parents. I'm not a parent, yet I have an imagination. I have beloved nieces and nephews. If our proverbial Gabriel or Gabe in the classroom get infected with COVID-19 or a strand thereof and bring it home to their grandparents and parents, and one of them dies, what will be the short and long-term effects on our hypothetical Gabriel or Gabe? The guilt that these kids will carry immediately, and then as their loved ones wilt away within a matter of days or short weeks, will surpass any ability for them to concentrate or learn, albeit back in the classroom. Actually, they'll be pulled from the classroom and suffer these mental anguishes at home, separated from their friends and largely without any counseling. You know, the immediate and conspicuous absence of whomever was sitting in the first row 2 desks back yesterday, but not today, will give rise to all the other students, basically, or even young adults in middle school and high schools, to surmise that their classmate is ill or otherwise infected with the virus. And that infected student will identify all the students with whom they have interacted or sat next to, and suddenly will have complete pockets of empty desks in the classroom. Now, if you think for one moment that it will be convenient or comfortable to ask Johnny and Jill, 2 other hypothetical students, to just move from their desk into that which our hypothetical Gabriel and Gabe sat in just yesterday or a week ago, in order to have the students be coalesced so that the teacher can address them more efficiently, this is asking an awful lot of Johnny and Jill. Adults who have lost their partners still have the hairdryer and the shaving lotion in the same places that their partner left them months and years after the death. Grief comes in many flavors. Survivorship guilt ranks right up near the top. Why, oh, why did I escape the virus? Some students might be asking, and not Gabriel and Gabe, our hypothetical students. And then when that first student dies, who will be present to provide the remaining students grief counseling? And when the first teacher dies, all of their present and past students will be mourning their death. There will be very little learning going on at that school. Has anyone calculated the sheer number of grief coaches and grief counselors that will be required on short notice to report to this location within each and every school district that opens prior to the science showing it to be a wise decision? Beverly, thanks for tuning in. I'm inviting anybody that's watching live that has grieved the loss of a loved one, and you have, to just chime in. It's not like choosing vanilla or chocolate ice cream or a hot dog or a hamburger. It's an indelible imprint on our psyche, is it not? There will be no mystery to me or anyone with an imagination or experience in grief counseling, let alone the children, who can't grasp the full impact of death, especially of one of their young friends, as to the magnitude of impact and the pall on communities that dead children will have. So I urge each of you to contact your representatives, contact your congresspeople, and ask them just these two questions. Who is planning to staff these schools with counselors? And moreover, who will be there to comfort these kids? Not just on day 1, or day 14, or day 141. If we as Americans are all about businesses and the dollar signs that will otherwise flow again once all the businesses are open and the parents, well, let's face it, the mothers will stay at home if in fact children aren't going back to school, right? In a heterosexual couple, often the man will return back if we open up businesses such that they're reporting back to the locations. And if the kids are not in school, the woman will stay back to school the children, typically. It's not lost to me as a feminist how badly this will set back the efforts of women to receive equal pay for equal work. I'm grieving that already. Yet I will clue you in. There will be significant corporate work and productivity affectation when students begin dying if schools are opened prior to it being safe. You know, grief is no respecter of persons or industries or big titles or political party. Grief takes a huge toll, and even a greater toll if people think they can just carry on without processing their grief. Believe you me, it comes around subconsciously to affect us in ways that sometimes are completely ending. It's nothing to trifle with, ladies and gentlemen. So please do contact your congresspeople about the widespread ill effect on kids and their parents, not just this semester, but for the rest of their lives. All for what? The almighty dollar? You know, we're going to make more of these dollars. Yes, we are. We're going to have new businesses where old businesses used to be. I'm not trying to say it's going to be easy or fun or something to jump around and celebrate joyously if people are finding themselves unemployed and not able to swiftly get into something else of gainful employment. I'm empathizing with that challenge, and yet the dollars will be back. Dead kids and their grandparents and their parents and their teachers won't. In addition to my writing this book, I've also written about my own grief during this pandemic, and I'll publish that soon. But in the meantime, I invite you to come over to womennavigatingfinances.com, womennavigatingfinances.com. So sign up there so that you're on our mailing list. You can get some immediate free resources, and I'll be posting tips on dealing with grief. Grief is a full-time job. I've counseled hundreds of people, if not thousands, that are grieving. Most all of them adults, but a 13-year-old after the 9/11 crisis. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And these are the indelible memories in my mind as a grief coach. And I've suffered my own griefs. Buried 6 of my dearest friends in the last 18 months. The shortest period of time I knew one of them was 21 years. The longest was 44. I'm not done processing that grief. And I dare say grief is powerful, stifling if we can't get the right releases and next steps through certified grief coaches. So I implore you, let's think outside the box. Let's think beyond dollar bills. Our lives, our mental health, and that of kids, or the next generation if you don't happen to, depends largely on it. So until next time, stay safe and pray for the safety of all of us.